have you ever sat in with Stranded?
Oh yeah. Yeah, numerous times.
I mean, like at one of the shows, or have you done like
yeah, at the shows, some of their gigs. I think the last time I said them was actually when they were at the Flea.
Oh, at the flea market.
Yeah, a couple of times up there, and just different gigs. I just go sit in with them. They'll say, hey, we're going to be playing here, and I'll say, hey, cool if I bring my sax along, or whatever. Yeah, sure, come on up.
Yeah.
So
How's Macho's microphone, Chris, in his face? Is it okay?
Sounds good.
No, I'm talking about it's not covering his face.
All right, I can bring it down.
Yeah, just lower it a little, and that's good.
That better? All
right. Okay.
Cool.
Before we start the show, I was thinking about this, and I know you guys, and I'm sure you as well, seen this 26-year-old that just signed with the New York Mets, Juan Soto.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with his contract?
Like $730 million.
It was actually $765 million for 15 years.
Yeah.
What do you know what's his guaranteed?
No, I don't. But
he has an opt out. He has an opt out after so many years. I think.
It said like 4 or 5.
Signing bonus was 75 though.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just that's it.
That's crazy. He played with the. He started off with Washington, so he's 20. So he's 2018 played with Washington, San Diego, the Yankees, and then now he signed with the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he just wanted to stay in New York. And I was really hoping. It was just a long shot, but we need an outfielder with a stick like that here in Kansas City.
Yeah. But he's actually only like a 275, 280 hitter.
Right.
He's not a 300 lifetime hitter.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot of money for.
But
he must have long-term aspects about him. Something about him just makes you think.
They're catching right now when he's 26, and they're about more or less betting on. Okay, when he's going to be 28 in his prime.
Yeah.
29.
Well, wait, you said what? How many years?
15 years, though.
15,
that's 41.
Yeah.
At the end of
are you serious? That's
right
wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, so I broke this down where it was broken down, and I just had to share this with you guys. So he's making $1.62 per second.
For the next, that would like.
So, just every second he's making $1.62, right? Per minute, he's making $97.20. Okay. So that obviously starts now, right? Once he's signed, is that the way it works? So right now he's just making money. Per hour, $5,833. Insane. Just
is that the highest?
I believe it's the highest in sports.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, is baseball even that lucrative? Honestly.
I know it's the most expensive for like franchise owners.
Oh yeah, there's no cap limit on them. They can just spend pretty much whatever they want. Pretty much like like soccer over in Europe. They spend outrageous amounts on
hundreds of millions.
Some of these caps. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, are they that each team, especially because it's the Mets? You said.
Yeah. I think in those major metropolitan cities, yes.
Mm-hmm.
In Kansas City, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in New York and L.A.
So these contracts can only happen pretty much in those city teams.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just thinking for the return back.
Is it?
Like how many people visit New York, international, in the U.S. and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
It's a hub for movement, for tourism, for just about everything.
I guess so. That's just such a wild number to me. He's literally like a quarter away from being first ever to get $1 billion for.
But Ohtani just did that right before him though.
Yeah.
And then you figure out with their endorsements and everything on top of that.
Yeah.
It'll probably way over $1 billion.
The problem is though, Ohtani and him, New York, they're pretty heavily taxed on income tax.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like if they were in a Florida or a Texas where there was no income tax,
he'd be all right.
Bro, that's a even bigger contract for you, But
so he's probably losing like maybe a couple $100 million, I think.
You say what, maybe 30-40%? Something like that? I don't know.
Okay, so it's probably not as crazy as you probably think it is based off that. Then just the number alone is wild. But still, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. He's making 140,000 per day
Per day.
for the next 15 years. That's just crazy.
Just to go online, look at his bank account, and see that number sitting in his checking account.
I mean, what's he gonna spend it on? What can't? I mean, God, it's just insane. It's just crazy to even think about. You know.
I think at that point you just spend money to make more money.
That's true.
You just invest, buy property, buy fun things. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like that. I guess that's what Mahomes is doing, right? With his big contract. I mean, he's buying, he's putting in money, and
But he's putting it back into the city.
Which
I don't
is
think you
cool.
can really put much back into New York like
No.
that's not already owned by something else.
right. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you guys because I just thought, man, that's crazy. Anyway, hello everyone and welcome back to the Big Modcast. I am your host, Big Mod. Sitting to my left, my co-host Mark, my son Christian running the board, Chris Noh, and our EP Jose sitting in the chair. Good to see you guys. It's been a week or so. ain't it?
Less than a week.
Okay,
Less-
less than-
yeah.
Well, I'm talking about a show, not necessarily. But how was your birthday, son?
That's all right.
Yeah.
His birthday dinner got ruined for some reason.
What do you mean?
Well, that wasn't the birthday dinner. It was one of them. We had multiple birthday dinners. No, this one was just with the brothers. It was just with you and Mario. And you and Mom were gone away on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And you got back.
We got back
Right-
on Friday.
Yeah, right at the time as we were having dinner. So Mario had to leave, go pick you, or had to come meet you at the house to unlock the
Oh
door
yeah,
for
to
you.
open the door for us.
And then go back to pick us up.
That's right. So he didn't. Did you guys order food for him?
Yeah, we ordered.
Yep.
Yeah, we ordered.
He didn't
And
get
then
to eat.
You guys were supposed to be in at 5. You didn't get in until like 7. You said, "Oh, we'll be there at 5. We'll be home
I
at
said
5."
no, I didn't say we'll be home. Well, when I said home, we'll be here in Kansas.
So you say we'll be
Can't see
landing.
Mo.
We'll be landing.
Why didn't you have your
Hold on.
keys?
Because these guys are usually home, especially that guy behind the board. I'm surprised that they even had dinner at that time.
It sounds like a terrible reason.
Plan?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just the way it worked. Anyway, I had fun. So, yeah, Chris, before we introduce our guests, can you go ahead and play our ads that are making this podcast possible for us? This podcast is sponsored by Quinn Concrete Construction. The company motto, no job too big or too small. Whatever your concrete need is, they have the experience and the professionalism to ensure a quality job every time. For a free estimate, call 913-279-1448. That's 913-279-1448 and ask for Joe Quinn.
This episode is sponsored by Goal Fire Protection. With over 26 years of fire sprinkler experience, Goal Fire Protection has built our livelihoods on established relationships and providing quality fire sprinkler systems. From retrofits, remodels, service, repairs, new installation, and inspections, simple to the extreme, we can help you every step of the way. No job is too small or too big for our knowledgeable crews. For your free estimate, call 913-441-3390 or email us at gochoa@goalfireprotection.com.
Is that the full time?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
full time?
full time.
We're
Good
back.
for you. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest for the evening, Mr. James Rojas, a.k.a. Maach. Maach, I've known you for a long time. I think I've known you longer than you've known me, I believe.
Okay,
if
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, 'cause
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
older than I am, so
Yeah.
I knew of you.
Right,
I
right.
gotta ask, what Maach? How did the Maach name come?
Oh
come in?
man. Okay. Now this is a story not a whole lot of people know.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
okay.
put it out there.
Yeah. Back when I was, I had just gone to Argentine middle school,
Okay.
and my sister Cece, you've interviewed her
Yes.
too. She was a couple years older than me, and then she used to hang out with all the the jocks, all the football players, basketball players, and everything. There was a cat by the name of Big John Randolph, big football player, basketball player, tremendous athlete. My sister introduced him to me, and she said, "This is my brother, and this was my name as a kid." And they still, my cousins still call me Chacho.
Okay.
Chacho.
Chacho, yeah,
Boy,
yeah.
Right. He thought that she said Macho. So he said, "Okay, Macho," and I'm like, he said, like, Macho Man. I'm like a little kid, you know. I'm like
Yeah.
this big mountain of a man telling me, oh, okay, Macho. I'm like, okay, I guess Macho it is for now. So that's how I got that. And I just dropped the O.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just became Maach, you know, M-A-A-C-H. That's how I usually spell it. I've seen so many different spellings.
I
But
know,
that's the way
right?
I spelled it. Yeah,
Because I know I spelled it.
right. Yeah.
So-
Well, but anyway, that's how I got that name Maach. A lot of people know that story. A lot of people just know me as Maach.
Yeah.
A lot of people have never known me as James.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go, who's James Rojas? Maach. Oh yeah, okay. Now I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's how I got that
That's
name.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how I got that name Maach. And it stuck for 40
It's
40
still
some
there.
years, 46 years, 40, whatever
yeah,
it
it's
is. Yeah. So anyway, that's where Maach came from.
Okay, but you also went by James or Jimmy.
James. Yeah.
Because
usually
I know
James.
because your business card, I believe you have Jimmy on there. Right?
Oh, Jimmy Rowe. That's my
That's the
email.
business.
Mhm, yeah,
Oh, okay.
Jimmy. Yeah, that's the business card. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
Jimmy Rowe.
the email address. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, again, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for
I
having
know.
me.
You're welcome. I know it's been a couple weeks now, but how's your Thanksgiving?
Good. Yeah, we had some got together with all the family, you know, like everybody else does. We actually had a friend of ours in from England that I used to work on the cruise ships like 30 years ago, and we connected through a mutual friend of ours, a buddy of mine who just passed away about coming up on 2 years, Mr. Ernie Cordero,
Okay.
and him and her were an item on the ship 30 years ago, right? So
Yeah.
they got in contact through Facebook, of course.
there you go.
She found me on Facebook and then found him, and she came over a couple of years ago and this and that, and so her and my wife hit it off big time because my wife was also from England.
Oh, really?
And my wife
okay.
she used to work on the cruise ships too. So yeah, so they hit it off like sisters right off the bat. So she came back over to visit a couple weeks ago. She was here for about 3-4 weeks, and yeah, we just did all kinds of cool stuff, went places, and she had a good time. She hung out with the family, and so she just left about a week and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And they
so-
stayed with you? They stayed
Yeah,
with you guys?
she stayed with
Okay.
my wife and I. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
So
What part of England is your wife from?
my wife is from. She's put, I would say, like the Midlands up towards Wales. I don't know how familiar you are with England, but it's like
I know it's
like
over there.
like Shrewsbury. It's small. It's a small counties, but it's up towards the northwestern part of England, and that's where she's from. Yeah.
Now, and you met her on a cruise as well?
Yeah, we met on the cruise ship. We were working in the same show together over in Finland. We were
In Finland?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were working in the show. I was with the band, obviously, and she was one of the dancers in the show.
Oh.
Yeah, we used to cruise ship dance with all the big feathers and all the
Yeah.
big costumes. Yeah, that's what my wife did. Yeah, yeah.
And the Coco.
Yeah, so so yeah, we worked in the show in
There was a
together in
show,
'92.
girl.
Yeah, we worked in '92. We worked over there, and then she came over here in beginning of '93. She came over for a visit, and she liked it over here. We hit it off well, and we've been married now 29 years. Yeah, 95. So
Okay,
yeah, 29 years.
Was
yeah.
it the accent? Is that what got you?
You know what? Not so much because I'd already been working on the cruise ship, so I'd heard all the different accents. We'd worked with people from numerous countries, so I'd heard all the accents before. But
Yeah.
she was just, it was her sarcasm and her huge sense of humor, and she was
Yeah.
like, okay. Yeah, this one, she's a bit of a challenge. I'm going to see what I can see where this goes.
So how long were you actually on that ship?
The cruise
working?
ships?
Yeah. I mean, how's
I
that?
did-
How's that work? When you're
I did
flying?
my first cruise ship back in 1989,
Okay.
and I did. We were over in Europe. We did. Like I said, we started off in Finland. We did Sweden. We did Russia. We did. We did a lot of the Baltics over there, and Estonia, and all these other places over there. And so I did the first one. That was the first one I did was in '93. I'm sorry, 89.
89, yeah.
89, and then that was the summer of '89. We had Robert Rodriguez, Bob.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, who I was just talking about a little while ago, Ernie Cordero.
Yeah.
He used to work with us here in Kansas City. He was from Kansas City. He got an opportunity to play with a guy to join a band that was based out of Florida. The guy's name was Van Presley Jr., and he used to be one of the former lead singers of the Platters.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know the Platters, Only You, and you know, Twilight Time. He was one of their former lead singers, and at that time they were looking for a trumpet player and saxophone player to come down and join their band because their horn players were getting ready to leave. They didn't want to go over to Europe again. They were family guys, and they didn't want to go over to Europe. So Ernie called up Bob and I, said, hey, man, we're looking for a couple cats to come down here. So if you guys interested in doing something for a couple of months? We're like, yeah, sure, you know. So we went down there, and I remember they said, okay, well, Maach, you're just gonna be doing what the saxophone player does, okay? You're gonna do what he does, sing his songs, and you know, play the solos and this and that.
Yeah.
So we get there on the first night, and we're at the Fontainebleau Hotel. You guys familiar with Fontainebleau? Yeah. It's like
Maybe.
it's just like one of the most famous hotels in South Florida. It's like
really?
you see it on all the old movies and this and that, and it's like in Scarface and all these other movies and this and that. So anyway, so we go down there, and we're sitting at the bar. The band comes on, and the saxophone players singing all the songs, playing all the solos, and I'm like, oh wow, I got to do all this now. So we got to learn all this stuff, you know, in a week and this and that. So they gave us all these charts, Bob and I. So they said, oh yeah, we got charts for you guys and everything. So we go and look at these charts, and they gave us cassette tapes, and we're like, okay. So we play the cassette tapes, where they're not jiving with the charts. And I'm like, this does not go with that. So Bob and I literally have to redo all the charts because they're all like chicken scratch. One guy plays this part, and then the next guy who come in, he changes it up. So me and Bob had to redo all the parts ourselves. So anyway, we were at the Fontainebleau. We rehearsed for a couple of weeks. Then before we said we're gonna fly over to Finland. We're going out of Helsinki, and that's where we're gonna start doing this cruise ship. And so that's when I did my first one over there. And then from there, it just I came back to Kansas City in it must have been late October, early November, because we were there when the Berlin Wall and everything came down. We were in the Baltic when the Berlin Wall and all that stuff came down, you know. So it was a pretty interesting time to be over there, you know, because we were there when it was both St. Petersburg, you know, and then Leningrad, or vice versa. But anyway, so you know, we were over in Russia and stuff. So it was interesting. So I came back, and then on New Year's Day, I always remember this. I got a phone call, and my dad picked up the phone, and it was Van Presley Jr. And he goes, hey, it's James Rojas? My dad said, yeah. He goes, hey, you, MF, blah, 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 blah. He started cussing. And then my dad said, wait a minute. I think you want to talk to my son.
Don't spill all this on me.
And so Van, you know, after I get on the phone, and he goes, oh, man, I'm sorry. I mean, don't tell you apologize to your dad. And I said, yes. I said, what's up, Van? He goes, would you be interested in rejoining the band? You know? I said, he goes, you know, it's like for a couple of years or whatever, you know, see where it goes. So I said, yeah, you know, I'd be interested in doing it. Yeah. So a couple of weeks later, I think on the end of January, we flew out to L.A. and we got on the cruise ship there. The cruise ship we were getting on was called the Viking Serenade. It was the very first Royal Caribbean ship on the West Coast, because all the ships were always in. How you doing? We're always in the Caribbean and this and that, and that's back when the fleet was a lot smaller. So the night we got to the ship, it was going to be their maiden voyage because they changed over from another company. Well, the night we got there, the ship wasn't done.
Oh,
They were literally bringing on furniture and carpet and everything.
So it's a brand new ship.
Brand new. It was brand new. So we were
new.
going on the maiden voyage, you know.
Yeah.
We were going down to Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan, Cabo San Lucas, you know, sailing out of LA.
I'd be
Or
a
San
little
Pedro.
nervous out there because every maiden voyage I know about does not turn out the best in the end.
Well, you know what? Ernie and I, we were roommates, you know. And the cabins are small. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever been. The cabins are really, really small. And then, you know, two guys, and we had bunk beds, you know, literally bunk beds. And the cabin was like 8 by 12, and that was it. So me and Ernie were like, oh man, we're never gonna sail out tomorrow, man. There's no way, you know. So we said, well, let's go get some booze, man. Let's do some partying tonight.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We partied hard the first night, and then we get up the next morning, and there's passengers getting on the ship, and the ship is completely finished.
Damn.
They worked all
through the night.
Yeah, all through the night, and the ship was ready to go that next day. So yeah, that was you know, that was in January of 1990. So we did that, and it was we did that ship from January until May, and then in May we were supposed to actually go to Atlantic City to play in a hotel up there. They were having some kind of labor dispute or something like that. So they said, "Well, we're not gonna be able to send you guys up there. Would you guys be interested in staying on this ship and going to Alaska for 4 months?"
Okay.
And
4
we're like,
months.
4 months, yeah. So we're like, well,
I didn't bring my coat.
We're already here, you know.
might as
So
well.
we were already here. So we sailed we did that, you know. We sailed from L.A. and we did San Francisco, Seattle. Then we did Vancouver, and then from Vancouver we sailed up to Victoria. And then we did Alaska for 4 months. So it was, man, I loved Alaska. It was
Really?
oh, it's beautiful. You know, I never thought I'd ever go to Alaska. You tell somebody, oh, you go to Alaska on a cruise ship. I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Then before you know it, you're up in Alaska. You know. So we did that for 4 months, and then came back, and we just pretty much stayed, you know, on the ship for a while. After we came back, I think we were off for a couple of weeks, and then we went down in the Caribbean. We did the Caribbean for a couple of months, and then we went back over to Europe. And oh man, we're all over the place. Yeah,
That's a lot of world traveling for
Let me
sure.
ask-
yeah. You know, and then in '92 came, and we were over in Finland, and they said we're gonna put a show together. Well, actually, before that, we were '92. This was in July of '92.
Mm-hmm.
They said we're gonna sail the ship down to Barcelona. We're out of Helsinki. So we're going to go from Barcelona. We're going to go down to Helsinki, Finland. We're going to sail down to Barcelona for the Olympics. So we were there in '92 with, you know, when the Dream Team was there. And
Hell
yeah.
That's
So we
cool,
were there
man.
when all this stuff was there. So
Well, a lot of the major events you seem to be on a ship for.
yeah. Oh yeah. So we did that. Our cruise ship that we were on was actually chartered by the King and Queen of Sweden. So we had some of the
You have
Olympic
a, you have a book, Maach?
what's that?
Do you have a book? You almost got,
Oh, so we
Call it rocking the boat.
Oh, I'll tell you, man. It was we had some of the Olympic team. The Swedish Olympic team was on there with us.
On there.
Oh,
So
wow.
we were down there for the Olympics for about 10 days, and no, actually we were there for 2 weeks. The Olympics were about 10 days. We were there for 2 weeks, and then we sailed back over to Helsinki,
Yeah.
and then from Helsinki, they said, well, we stayed at the hotel. It's called a big hotel called the Presidente Hotel, 5-star hotel, and that's where we were performing at. And then they said, well, we're going to put a show together. We call it Hot Vegas Nights, and it's going to be like a review show. And it's going to be like music from Vegas from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and then 70s and 80s, you know. And so we had the two lead singers. One was Van Presley,
Yeah.
and then we had another female singer coming in. Her name was Terry Malone, big singer in New York. And then we had the 4 dancers, and my wife was one of the dancers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we did that show from September of '92 to '93, to January '93. Then I came back.
Have you heard about the wild new cruises they have now? They're world cruises.
Oh yeah,
Like,
oh, yeah.
Let me read you the stats of the longest one. It's 180 days,
Mm-hmm.
86 tours of 38 countries, and it starts at $79,995.
Oh yeah.
Holy
6
cow.
months on a cruise ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Oh, yeah.
wild.
I did my last one in 2012.
Yeah.
You know,
You
and
did your last.
cruise ship was 2000. Yeah, 'cause
Plane.
Yeah,
Plane.
plane. Well, after we came back in '93, where we was with a band here called Midnight Review, and I was with them for actually pretty close to 20 years. But in about
Jeez.
2005, Ernie and I got the wild hair. Said, "Hey man, want to try to go back on the cruise ships again?"
No way.
So we sent out we did a demo video up at Tom Foolery's. Used to be up at Zona Rosa.
Okay.
And we did a video. They recorded us, and we sent it off to the agencies. One of the agencies that was booking the cruise ships, and they called us back within 4 hours. Said, "Hey, yeah, we want to get you guys on a cruise ship." So before you know it, I was with a different band, the band out here from Kansas City, and we sailed off to we were in the Caribbean. We did on the Golden Princess, I think it was. So we did that one, and then before you know it, we did that, and then they said, "Well, you guys want to go to Alaska?" So I got another chance to go to Alaska with a different band. So we did that for another 4 months. We did that, and then then we did another ship. The last one I did 2011. We did the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Western Caribbean, which is Cozumel and was it Honduras and Belize and I can't. It was one or two other ports. I can't remember what the other one was. But so we did that, and we did that one for about I think about 6 weeks, and then April they said, "Will you guys be interested in going over to Europe?" But it was doing a transatlantic, so we sailed from Fort Lauderdale to across the Atlantic. So we ended up in our first stop was in the Canary Islands, and then from there we went to Spain. We did Mallorca and Valencia and Malaga, and then we ended up back in Barcelona, where I was 20 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And so from there we did the French Riviera. So we did we were in Cannes for the big film festival. We were there for their 65th anniversary, which was real cool. And so we seen them put all the red carpet out and all this stuff. And then from there we went to Italy. So we went to we went to go see Leaning Tower of Pisa and Rome and all that kind of stuff. The Vatican,
Nice.
the Colosseum, and the ancient ruins, and then from there we went down to Naples, and so we went to Vesuvius and Pompeii and all these other cool places. It was I was pretty fortunate to be able to just
Hell yeah, man.
see the world and get paid for it and do what you like to do.
Yeah,
so.
congratulations on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say it here first, but Johnny Cash ain't got shit on you. 'Cause he claimed he was an everywhere man. I don't know about that.
I've been very fortunate. I've been able to see a lot of places and do play music and do what I enjoy.
Yeah.
And be able to see it. So I was very fortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. That's awesome.
All from a boat. All from a boat.
From a ship.
From a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, wow, that's cool stories. Amazing. That's awesome. So, born and raised in KCK?
Born and raised KCK. I was born in Armadale.
Oh, yeah?
Armadale. I was born at St. Margaret's Hospital, right there. And I grew up on right off 4th and Kansas Avenue.
Okay.
And then we were there until '76, and that's when the urban renewal came. And they bought out everybody, east of 7th Street, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And we were the last house to leave. We were the very last one. So my mom had holding out, and then we ended up moving up to Argentine in the summer of '76.
Okay.
So
And then that's up on 14th Street.
yeah, up the top of the hill, by the way, Water Tower and all that.
Yeah.
Up by Kuroga. Kuroga. It's your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right up. Yeah, me and him been best friends ever since.
Yeah.
I was 8, 9 years old. So
Yeah. How's he doing?
he's doing okay.
Yeah.
I still talk to him
Good.
3 or 4 times a week. He still calls me up. So
That's good.
we still talk, and I go over there when I can. So yeah.
Did he ever play an instrument? Did he ever?
Yeah, he played trumpet.
He played the
He
drum?
played trumpet. He played a little bit of the sax. He actually started off on piano. He started off on piano. So
really?
yeah, he started off on piano. So he played trumpet for
That's
a
pretty
number
cool.
of years. Mhm.
Pretty cool. Yeah, so you're 100% Hawk. I think I need to change the name of this studio to like the Hawksons or something, because everybody I'm bringing in, of course, we all went to Harmon and whatnot.
Right.
But as far as Harmon, do you have a good memory to share with Harmon?
I tell you what. It's not so much the memories. I really enjoyed my days like in jazz band and marching band. 'Cause that's primarily what I did in school. When I was like 15 years old, that's when I joined the festival band with Andre, Steve, Bob, Marty Bernal, and Alex Velasquez. I joined them, so I was like my sophomore year. So I wasn't going to all the high school parties and this and that. Everybody get done with marching band. So I'd get done with marching band on Friday night. I would change and go play in a bar until 1 o'clock in the morning. And so that was.
Is that still legal today? I mean, can somebody
I don't
play?
know. Maybe 18.
Yeah.
Maybe 18.
Back then I was young. I don't even know if any of us were old enough to be in the bar back then. So.
Would you say all you guys are about the same age? You and Andre? or-
Bob and Steve, they're about. I think they're 3 years older than I am.
Oh,
Andre's
okay.
2 years older than I. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
who's older, Stevie or Andre?
Steve.
Steve's older.
Yeah, Steve's older. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Did you play any sports at school? Or
I used to. Well, when I was young, I played baseball, played football, I wrestled. Those were my main things. When I got to high school, I kind of focused more on the music part of it. You know, I kind of got away from the sports. Well, I was playing football. I was too small back then. I was like, you know, you get the harm. You're like, oh shoot, these guys are big, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll stick to the music side of things right now. So,
You got in high school. I heard they called you Macho.
Yeah.
No.
yeah. Did you do help at any clubs like chess club or debate or anything?
No, you know what?
None of that.
No,
It was all about music.
By the time I was my senior year, I think I had like 5 band classes out of 7 classes. Yeah, because I had, you had the orchestra and you had the symphonic band. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty much, it was all music all the way through there.
Yeah. So from your freshman year to senior year.
No.
Yeah. Was that Mr. Daniels?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. Dan. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
Is he still with us? Do you know?
Yeah. I think he was teaching down at I think it was Southern University, because that's where he was originally from, Southern University. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, and so I think he was still doing some courses down there. And he came up a couple of years. Well, he came up, I think, was it last year? No, I don't think he could make it last year. He came up a couple of years ago, and they had a big ceremony.
Yeah,
for everything. So we got a chance.
I think did he make the Hall of Fame? Or
yeah,
something
I think that's something like that. Yeah, I think they were just. So I got a chance to visit with him. That's the first time I'd seen him in.
Years.
And
did he remember you?
Oh yeah. He remembered me because I was one of those guys who was always asking questions. Yeah, I was always in the band room all the time.
Yeah.
So we got along pretty well though.
Yeah, you got to tell him. You got to literally just tell him everything you just told us. Give him the story.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I know. I bet that'd make any teacher kind of proud to hear like this. Like to do something like that. I mean, that's all book worthy. Yeah, write a book.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is that I never had no interest in playing instruments.
No.
Not until then.
Jeez. No. When I was in 5th grade, it was they gave us a choice. Well, you can either be like you can take this class. I don't know if it was some type of art class or some type of craft. It was like the end of the day, or you can take up an instrument. I'm like, well, I'm really not interested in that. So I said, you know what? Let me try an instrument. So I tried the clarinet.
Okay.
And so we had a little band. It wasn't a band. It was myself on clarinet. We had a trumpet player. We had a violin player, and a snare drum player. And so I know it's what it was.
It's a mixed hodge. I'm trying to imagine this band together.
Exactly. And it wasn't really a band. What we would do, we'd all learn our own individual parts, and at the end of the year, we would get together with all the other schools, and we would join in with their sections. So I'd be with the clarinet section and so we'd all play a concert. It was at Wyandotte High School. I remember that. And so we all got together and played a concert at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But I really didn't have any interest in. I wasn't interested in playing music. I was just. I was like, you know what? I'll do this to get out of another class. So by that, literally. So by the time I got to Argentine, it was starting to come pretty natural to me. So I just said, well, let me go ahead and keep on pursuing this. Yeah. So went to intermediate band and cadet band, and so by the time I got to my 8th, 9th grade years, I was playing multiple instruments. So saxes and this and that. And
missed opportunity. That Harmon reunion that we did the podcast at. Yeah. That would have been a cool time to have some old band members or something.
I tried to organize that, but nobody really was interested in it.
And that's what I was looking forward to, because I had heard that you were trying to get some old band members out. Let's go play.
There just wasn't the interest in it. I'm like, well, you can't force somebody to get up there and play.
How many times can you play the fight song in a row?
Yeah, you remember the fight song, right?
Oh yeah. Sun is here.
Yeah.
Howard Hawks are here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was something that Mr. Daniels.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember who actually who proposed that as the fight song, but it was like 78, 79, maybe before that. Yeah.
Because it was a song in the 70s.
Oh yeah, by the group Sun.
Sun.
Yeah. So they changed it to.
And of course, I didn't learn that till maybe 10 years ago. It come up, and I may have heard it on XM radio, and I'm like, holy smoke,
it sounds familiar.
Sounds just like our fight song.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Before the internet, I bet you could get away with it without any copyright or having to pay any royalty or anything like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Nowadays,
Well, depending now, like whether or not the band
band
is still playing it well.
And,
It's like, hey,
no, whoever owns the publishing, they'll take a cut.
yeah.
They'll take a cut no matter
you
what.
can play my song for a price.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And was that song even a hit back then? Do you recall?
You know what? Not really. I mean, it wasn't that big of a hit, I don't think, because I very rarely remember it until I got to Harmon, and then hearing it. Wait a minute, I said, okay, I remember that song from a couple of years ago.
And were they like a band that was kind of like trying to be like a Kool and the Gang or Earth, Wind and Fire?
They were kind of almost like a LA sound. You know, like the Tierra. And
they
that
had
type
horns.
of thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the kind of band they were. But I mean, you can look them up. I don't know a whole lot about the band. I just know that one or two songs that they had.
Yeah. That was the only.
Yeah.
well, hold on. Let me ask. Okay, so on the cruise, are the entirety like of the you guys are playing? Is it what do you call it? Like cover stuff, or is it stuff you guys did yourself?
No, it's cover stuff.
It's entirely.
Yeah, because and the thing
So
about
for-
it, and when you get on the cruise ships, you have certain theme nights. So it's okay. One night's going to be country western night.
How
Or
long
one
is the
night's gonna
cruise?
It depends.
Standard, like
Usually
give or take.
You got the 3 and 4 day cruises, which are probably the most popular.
Okay.
Then you got the
So that's
7,
not
8
bad.
day cruises. Those are ones that
In my head, I'm thinking if you got to do like 3 weeks worth of
Oh,
music
yeah.
different every
Well,
night.
no,
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to
you
imagine.
figure you got a different crowd. every few
for
days
sure,
or every
for
week. So and so we.
And you just can't look up a song as easy as you
No,
can.
oh no! And the thing about it is, back then, we first started doing it. You go on a, they say, okay, this night we want you to do all, or a whole set or an hour of just straight rock and roll music. We want to do straight country western music, or we want to do straight disco music, whatever that theme was. So you had to be able to play all these different types of music.
Yeah.
So it, as a band, you add all these songs to your repertoire. So now we can do a whole night of country music, or we can do a whole night of rock and roll, or R&B, or 70s.
Can you remember probably the most like played song you guys probably did? Like if we're talking the most popular of the early '90s, who was that band or that was just you guys were kind of
Michael Jackson.
Well, we didn't do it because you had to have those high vocals to do the Michael Jackson stuff.
yeah.
But you always the
And
Kool and the
you didn't
Gang and no, back in the '80s, I used to sing all that high stuff, but I can't do all that now. But we used to do all the Kool and the Gang and all the regular stuff. The stuff you hear at your private parties or what. It's the same type of thing, and same thing with the country western music. The same type of thing that you hear, at weddings or that's.
Were you guys in costume each night too, depending on the
It
thing?
depended. I remember a couple nights wearing the big giant 70s afros. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the country western night. And
Did you have a
the cowboy
bass
hat.
player at all?
yeah.
I feel like that would be the key position. There's only
Just
so many
riffing?
bass lines.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and then the same thing with the horns because you played the horn. And
Yeah,
then
and
it's just-
because when we went on the ship with with Midnight Review Band, it was a 4-piece. So it was just drums, guitar, bass, and I played sax and percussion. So we didn't have a keyboard player, so we had to just kind of make the music, sound like 5 or 6 people. So we would have to learn different parts. Okay, so we know this part is supposed to be there, but it's not there. So I'd have to play little half lines here and this and that, and the guitar player and the bass player and drummer would just fill it up. So we sounded like 5 or 6 guys. So that's what we had to do, and plus
that's
everybody
tough.
sang and the harmonies and everything. So we were able to pull that stuff off. So but it was it was a good experience, learning experience to learn how to play all those different type of genres of music, because it comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because once you get stuck in just playing the same thing over, if you go on a cruise ship, you won't be able to do anything. We only do this. Well, can't use it.
What's at the end of the movie Step Brothers? The band was just a Billy Joel cover band from like 5 years only.
He goes, no, sir,
Sir, we're only like 1985 to 1990.
he goes, play Piano Man. He goes, nope, we don't do that one.
No,
I did
just these ones.
one of my buddies, a buddy of mine, he does a Billy Joel tribute. And so a couple of years ago, he said, "Hey man, we need. I'm doing the Billy Joel tribute. up at the Uptown. Would you be interested in doing it with us? I'm like, yeah, sure. So it gives me a chance to learn all that. Billy, he had some great horn lines and sax lines, all those great solos. I said, yeah, man, I'm gonna jump on that. So it was a great time. Just because that's I love Billy Joe.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
Play piano, man.
Yeah. So I learned all the cool.
You ever seen Billy Joe in concert?
Yeah, we see Billy Joe when he first came to back then Sprint Center.
Okay.
Yeah. We went to go see him, and oh man, he was phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal cat, man.
What was that? Like 10, 15 years ago now?
What's that?
No,
Sprint
more than
Center?
that.
Some like
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was early 2000s.
Makes me feel old.
You are old.
Yeah, we had the opportunity. Sandy and I, we went to see Billy Joe at Kaufman
Oh yeah.
when he was here. When was that? I don't know, maybe 7 years ago or so. I think it was before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I just like you, love his music.
Yeah.
And just was able to, and he still sounds the same.
He does.
He doesn't change.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. I mean, his musicianship hasn't faded at all. I mean, his piano playing is just still remarkable. And it's just
and that harmonica.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he plays
He's just one of those cats, and it's just. I mean, growing up, he was always on the radio. So especially that 70s and 80s stuff. You turn on the radio, you wait a few minutes, you're going to hear Billy Joe somewhere. So, and I always liked Billy Joe.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I would have enjoyed the nights where we're doing if you're doing any Richie Valli or Frankie Valli or Frank Sinatra. Those would be my kind of nights.
Well, that's
Black
the kind
tie
of stuff.
event.
Yeah,
that
I do a lot of that stuff when I do, like I was telling you earlier, I do like a lot of the retirement communities now. So I do like the Sinatra and Bobby Darin and all that cool stuff, and and it depends on the audience. I mean, I do stuff
on the crowd.
Glenn Campbell, from Glenn Miller to Glenn Campbell, and I even throw in Lionel Richie and Tony Orlando, Tom Jones, and all this stuff. And it's cool stuff to do, and the folks there they appreciate it. They're like, oh, I remember that song, and it was the first time I heard that song and this and that. So get to do all that real cool music that I don't really get to do with. With the band I work with now with Ex Parte, we don't do that type. Ours is more of, 70s, 80s. And,
a little more funk.
Yeah, exactly. More of the retro stuff and the newer stuff. But I like doing the old stuff, man. The lyrics are great, the arrangements are great, and it's just fun stuff to do. Yeah.
So, you've listened to music all your life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what kind of inspired you to also play,
right?
Just
well, I was in my household, we always had music, but I was
while mom was cleaning,
or whatever. Well, see, I was always we always had classical music in the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I just loved classical music when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And but it was we had different music throughout the week. We had like the 50s and 60s like during the week, and then we had the 70s and 80s and on the TV shows and this and that.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday nights, it was like Little Joe and Ruben and Alfonso, and then on Sunday mornings was classical music. So my uncles would come over, and my mom would say, or my dad would say, well, you can go to church today with your mom, or you can stay here and listen to classical music with us. So I became a classical music buff. Nothing against church, but I just liked hanging out with, when my dad and mom was listening to, classical music. It was just something that really, it was just the different nuances of the music itself, the violins and the different arrangements and the composers and, it's just something that I really, I gravitated towards, so.
Yeah. Do you like even like John Williams, the Star Wars?
What? Big fan of theme music.
Yeah.
Big fan of theme music. I just, it's, especially if it comes from the classical aspect of it. I like the John Williams, and Henry Mancini, those cats, they wrote all these real cool themes for these music, especially in the 60s and 70s, and 50s and 60s and 70s, I should say. And it's I always listen to the music, the classical sound. I pick out certain things I like because I never listen to lyrics in songs. I listen to music because I enjoy the music.
That's me. Yeah,
I never listen. And people always ask me, well, how do you sing all these songs? And they're all memorized.
Yeah.
How do you sing all these songs but
You don't even know what the song's about.
You could ask me to sing the first verse of or ask me what are the words to a first verse of a song, and it could be a song that I did for 30 years, and I couldn't tell you unless I'm singing it. That's the way my mind works, because unless I get that first note out,
You gotta feel that rhythm.
exactly, and then everything exactly, because it just goes into autopilot, and so that's. But you would ask me, like, somebody said, well, what's the first verse of "Heard It Through the Grapevine"? I couldn't tell you unless I hear the chords and start singing. Yeah.
Once you start,
exactly. Yeah. So that's the way my mind kind of works.
So all of this sounds really amazing. Am I on?
No, you're not plugged in at all, son.
Oh, I thought it.
No, it's not plugged in at
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
all. Okay, I'll let Sandy ask a question.
So this all sounds really amazing and your journey that you've had, but I want to know, how do you live on a ship? What did you guys do? I mean,
Drove each other nuts most of the time.
like, did you guys have band rehearsal time, or
You know what?
most bands have to practice together and all?
Occasionally, but we played so much.
That was your.
That was rehearsal. A lot of times we would just, I remember we got on one of the cruise ships, and we were doing country western night, and we said, okay, we have our show pretty much what we're gonna do, and this is 15 minutes before the show starts. They said, well, we have this one number that we need you guys to play, because they assumed that we knew it, and they said, well, we're gonna do this in the country western, because the crew staff would come out and they'd do they come out dance
show.
and they get there right, and they come out, and it was like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. We had never heard it before, because it was a pretty new song.
Yeah.
So they said, well, we need you guys to learn this song. Well, we had 15 minutes to learn it.
No way.
15 minutes to learn the song. So we went back in the back room with the cassette player.
Yeah.
And I was literally writing down the words, because I had to sing. So I was writing down the words, and all the guys were learning their parts. And we did that. So we learned the song in like 15 minutes. Luckily, it wasn't a difficult song to learn, but we learned it in like 15 minutes. So we did it that night. So we said, well, put it on the list next. That's another song we got on the list. So, but yeah, we'd have to do stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that
but
song
life
got-
on the ship is like, so you'd perform at night,
Yeah.
and then you'd have all day
Right,
on
yeah.
the boat to.
Right. Yeah. Oh, we go into port.
Okay.
We go into the port like everybody, with the,
Okay.
with the regular
Yeah, it's
passengers.
not like I'd imagine it's not like ships today, the Disney cruises and everything like that, where they got big entertainment. Not to say that a bunch of 30-old men are going down water slides or
But we can pretty much we were contracted as independent entertainers.
Oh, okay.
So we had different rules than a lot of the rest of the crew did. We can go places with the passengers. We could eat with the passengers and this and that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we luckily didn't have the same rules that a lot of.
Oh, okay.
Is
a lot
I
of the
see.
other
Is
Is it
passengers.
all inclusive for passengers on
Yeah.
the ships?
Yeah,
Yes,
basically.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's
for you guys
it can
that
get expensive.
worked,
Well, we didn't pay for anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We didn't
yeah,
pay
they
for
took
anything
care
at
of
all.
you
Everything
guys.
was, we just go down there and play and just get your money for the week.
So
it
yeah.
sounds like a
So-
sweet deal.
You
Yeah,
could save a lot of money.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
what was the main thing.
James, I want you to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Did you start to pack it on? Did the boys start to pack it on after all those years? After all those years of eating cruise line
I used
food?
to wrestle at 120, 28 or 120. But by the time the music is what, because you're staying out late at night. I remember years ago, we'd get done with the gig at like 1 o'clock in the morning, go down to Eaton's or, some Paul's or something like that, Paul
Yeah.
Bunyan's, and he's going to get me
Paul
a
Bunyan's,
triple
yeah.
cheeseburger basket at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
I'm talking about on them
that's not
cruises,
good.
though.
On
On
the
the cruises, especially.
Oh, yeah.
That's all
'Cause it's all you can
complimentary.
eat,
It's all you
right?
can. Yeah.
It's all-
Man, that's
all
all I'd be
buffet and
doing. You'd be
everything.
playing, and I go
Mm-hmm.
eat, I drink, and
Well, you know what?
I
Yeah.
pack it on.
Yeah, well, you know what? Luckily, I used to walk all the time.
Around the ship.
Yeah, no, on the ports.
Oh,
I just
okay.
get off and walk.
okay.
We'd be in the different, especially when we were over in Europe. I say, man, I want to go see this place. So we'd walk. I'd get off we would place a little called Villa France, in the French Riviera, and I'd walk to Monte Carlo, and Monaco, which was about 6 or 7 miles away. We were in the port right between there and between Nice, France. So I'd get up and walk to Monte Carlo and Monaco, and to say, that'd be my whole day. Walk over there and come back and this and that. So I walked all the time.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah, it's
just
good.
because you're drinking all night, and because we'd only play like 2 or 3 hours.
2-3 hours
That was
a night.
That was a gig.
But I mean, literally every single night you played.
On certain ships, on the last one I did, we played every night. That was on the Royal Caribbean ship. We played. No, I'm sorry, we had a night off.
Yeah.
We would have one night off.
So you think about you got to stay healthy. Was there ever time like somebody come up with the flu or you can't make the
Motion
gig?
sickness.
Or just sick.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you're around people that you don't know.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, once it starts on the ship, everybody gets it, because you're in constant contact with everybody every day. So all the crew members, one person gets sick, like, oh man, we're gonna get it. So you just had to just fight through it. You get paid to do the show every night, so you just just got through it. So so it's one of those things, you pay through it when you're sick. So but
has there been a time, not necessarily on the ship, but even now, if you can't sing, if your throat's hurting, or how does somebody else have
well,
to
you know
take
what?
over? Even though you have a gig coming up Saturday, but you're starting to feel like crap now, and
I've just been able to.
It's Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, no. I just it's when you're singing as much as I do, you've built up the endurance, right? But a lot of songs, when I learn a song, I take one thing into consideration, and that is, could I sing this song if I was sick?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put it. I'll say I want it in this key, because if I do get sick, I can still perform it.
Okay.
I'll be hoarse when I'm singing it, but I do take that into consideration.
Yeah.
If I could sing a song, you get morning voice. If you could sing a song early in the morning, well, then you that's the key you should probably keep it in, because that's about the smallest range your voice is going to have.
Yeah.
So when you get that morning voice,
Yeah.
So that's why I put things in consideration. That's one of the things I do, because you got to be able to sing when you're sick, and especially when I do my solo gig, I sing every song, obviously, and so I arrange the songs to the keys that just like I said, that I'll be able to sing even when I'm sick. So I believe I did some gigs where I was sick, and I said, well, it's only me, so I have to do the gig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's got to be tough, because sometimes I think about that. Us doing this show, we have to be careful of the same, the same thing.
Yeah.
I've been, knock on wood, everything's been good here.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into your saxophone, because I know that's what you play. What was your first job? Or did you even have time for a job, because
he was already playing in a band?
Just the band, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I've never had a quote.
Yeah.
9 to 5.
Really?
Yeah, it's all I've been very fortunate.
You're doing something you love to do, and you're good at it, and more power to you, man. That's awesome.
I've been pretty lucky.
But as a kid, you never thought you would end up here playing an instrument. I mean, you loved music, yes, but you never.
Yeah, I never, like I was saying, I never had an instrument.
And no one in your family, your dad, nobody was.
Yeah, my dad was actually a classical pianist.
Oh, so you had it in
but we
you
never
somewhere.
had but he never had a piano in the house.
Did you know of?
No. See, when my dad went to Korea, he busted up his fingers.
Oh.
So, no more playing the piano.
Okay, so your dad was in the
so he used to be at the Conservatory of Music.
Okay.
That's where the classical comes in.
Yeah,
Then.
that makes
Oh, okay.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's one of the things that he always instilled upon us.
Yes.
Did he have the albums? Did you guys have?
Oh yeah. I still got some of the.
I'm gonna guess your dad used to love watching Lawrence Welk.
Oh, I did too.
Did you?
Oh God, yeah.
You guys, do you remember Lawrence Welk show?
No.
I mean, it was on regular TV.
There was so many unbelievably talented cats that were on that show. I mean, it was just. The dancers, the singers, and obviously the musicians, they were just top notch. And people who say Lawrence Welk, they're like, "What do you mean Lawrence Welk?" There were some cool musicians on there. Like those old variety shows had monster music. Carol Burnett show.
Yeah.
All those shows back in the 70s. They don't have the variety shows like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sonny and Cher.
Exactly. The entertainment on there.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless you.
Dude, thank you.
The entertainment on there was top notch.
Yeah.
I mean, those entertainers at the time were at the top of their game.
Yeah.
And you could watch them every Saturday night or whatever it was.
Did you watch? well, before we get on the my grandfather, my dad's dad, used to love that show.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd go to his house. He lived in Armadale off of 12th and Osage, one of the corner houses there.
Right.
And we'd have to sit there and watch it with him. If we're visiting Grandpa.
And the one, and the two.
So, yeah.
And he was a phenomenal accordion player.
Lawrence Welk?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to YouTube him.
Oh
you need to YouTube him.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
So, do you have siblings that are also talented?
My sister Cece, she played violin and French horn. She was very good. She was very good. And then my younger sister Liz, she played was it violin? She played bells in the marching band. And so I was the only one who kept going with it, but they were actually good. They were very good musicians.
See, I feel like talent like that is passed down through the genes somehow, because we are not musically inclined. Oh, no, we're not. And so none of our kids really, except our
Chris,
third one here, that had some interest in band, but otherwise we were like,
Yeah, so that was a good route for us because, I mean, my family, all the Garcias, you guys, they all played.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm talking band.
Oh, band.
They all played in the band.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so, with my two older boys, Marcos and Mario, sports, Chris also did the sports, but he also took us in a different round that way because he did the tennis and he played in the band and he played in the marching band. So it was cool to watch him play during the game. So we got to watch a game and then got to watch him perform and so. And then
I attempted instruments. I did attempt.
I'm gonna say I attempted as well when I was young too, but
it just would not stick.
Oh,
I just couldn't.
I
can't hear the music.
That's one thing I tell people. They said because they always ask me, "Do you give lessons?" I said, "No, I don't give lessons. It's not that I can't give lessons. I'm just not a very patient person."
There you go.
And when it comes to kids, I'm like, you know what? I can tell you somebody who can give you lessons, but I just don't have that teaching gene.
Yes.
You gotta have that.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things. I'm like, you know what? Let me steer you on to somebody who probably can help you out a little bit more than I can. Yeah.
Okay. So I got to bring this up. I remember you had a Cadillac. Remember your DeVille? Which one was it? The brown.
No, I never had a Cadillac. I used to drive a Lincoln.
Oh,
I used to drive a Lincoln. I never had a Cadillac.
Oh, okay. It was a Lincoln.
I used to have a Lincoln. But my dad's Lincoln, but I used to drive it all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to have a. Oh man, I remember my first car. I remember my very first car was a 1967 Le Mans that my cousin had left on the side of the house because it didn't run, and the police came and said, "Look, you got to do something with this car." And it was actually my sister, Cece, and so my dad got it fixed up, and that was her first car.
Oh.
And then she got another car, and I said, "Well, I'll keep this whole thing going." So I drove that thing. I drove it to the dirt, basically.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you remember that vehicle?
Yeah, it was a DeVille.
No, he said a Lincoln.
No, this is way before this. I was about 15 years old, and then I had a Pontiac Grand Prix '77 with T-tops. Back in like 1980, 83, 84, whatever it was. And then I had then for a while I drove my dad's station wagon for a while. I remember because
you had a lot of cars.
Then I had I had a Oldsmobile Delta 88 after that. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm only bringing this up because, like I said, Liz and I went to school together.
Right.
And her and I, we went to one of the dances at Argentine, I believe. And you picked me up. I lived on 15th Street. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to have to bring my cousin Rosa at the time you were seeing her.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, you actually came and picked me up, and Liz was there, and you dropped us off at the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, that's
a long time ago. Yeah.
That's why I said,
Yeah.
I know, I remember you.
Maybe I was driving somebody else's car.
I was afraid of you. I could have sworn it was a DeVille because we had one for a little while. Mm-hmm. My brother-in-law drove one,
right.
But it was a Cadillac DeVille, right? And he drove it and then sold it to me and then just sold it back to him. But I had it for a little while.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever driven a Cadillac, as a matter of fact. But my dad always had the big Lincoln.
Yes,
big
so
Lincoln,
it was it was a Lincoln.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brown or
Yeah. That's
brown
it. Yeah, that's it.
So you only have the color right, babe. Sorry.
I guess. Damn. I
was a
thought we
car.
had, I
Make
thought
it
we
a
had the
car.
same car. Yeah.
It had 4 wheels.
Yeah,
so-
there you go.
Yeah.
Couple
No,
doors.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So let's get into playing the saxophone. That's what you're playing now. Mm-hmm. You've been playing it forever.
As in your favorite, right? This is your favorite instrument because it sounds like you played lots of different instruments.
Yeah. The sax is by far my favorite. It's one of those things that just the sound of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the sound of the sax, and it's just it was so you hear it on so many records back in this. I used to like the horn bands.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire and Tower of Power and
man.
AWB and all these cats. And they always had the horns.
Which kind of saxophone? Tenor, alto?
I played tenor. I played alto. I used to play Barry in marching band.
Ooh.
Oh man, I was dragging that thing. I remember we used to be in the American Royal Parade, and you're dodging horse crap with their Barry sax. Yeah, but I enjoyed playing the Barry though. I really did enjoy it. Yeah, Barry was fun. But the tenor, that's the moneymaker.
Oh, really?
Because you can use the tenor in pretty much any type of music,
Okay.
Especially all the songs that you hear back in this. It's a lot of it. Primarily is the tenor sax.
Okay.
It's just the tone of the tenor too. It's
So
really unique.
when did you decide this was the instrument to keep playing?
Well, like I said, I started off with clarinet, went to saxophone. Probably when
You
I
said
was
it's the moneymaker.
yeah
right?
when I was must have been my sophomore year, and I was playing the tenor, and I remember, I think it was my sophomore. I remember learning the solo for the song "True," Spandau Ballet.
Yep, that's the best. Yes.
So I learned that solo, and I remember all the chicks and the chicks are like, "Ooh, that's a song. That's true. That's a solo from True." Ooh, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll stick with this. I'll stick with the tenor. Yeah, you know what? I'm on to something here.
So when you were young, already playing in a band at early age, that was already the saxophone. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a saxophone.
And did you practice at home?
Oh man.
Drive mom and dad crazy?
Yeah, you know what?
Sisters?
My very first sax, my dad bought from a pawn shop for like $50. And the reason they did this is the same reason I tell parents that have kids that want to learn instruments.
Yeah.
Buy them something cheap, because 6 months from now they might not want to play it. And if you spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a horn, and all of a sudden, I don't want to play it anymore,
Right.
or keyboard or drums or whatever, and all of a sudden, so that's what my dad did. My first sax he bought it at a pawn shop. It was an old King Zephyr saxophone. I literally had to have duct tape, rubber bands,
Holding it together.
just to hold it together. And I remember when I was first starting to play the saxophone, and I remember going downstairs to practice,
Yeah.
and it wasn't that good.
You had your own
the
unique sound.
Yeah. It's called squeaks. And I remember my mom asking me, "Seriously, is this something you seriously thinking about doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, mom. Okay." So but I stuck with it.
If you can play this,
Yeah.
we'll get the better one next time.
And well, the thing about it is that saxophone. My dad, we got a nicer saxophone after about a year and a half.
After you proved
yeah,
it.
exactly. So we'll get you a nicer saxophone. So that sax was up in my mom's garage for like 30 plus years, and I finally decided. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go see what those sax. It was all tarnished, and it was just still had the rubber bands on it and everything.
That's dope.
And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna get this old saxophone. Just for nostalgic purposes. I'm gonna go get it all
Restored.
Restored.
Yeah.
So I took it up to this guy, not too far from right off 95th and Metcalf, and he restored it, did all their pads, got it all nice and shiny and beautiful. He goes, you got a rare horn here.
Oh, I knew it. Yep.
I'm like,
come on.
Really? He goes, yeah. He goes, they only made like 1,600 of these.
Oh.
Yeah. And so now it's put away somewhere safe.
So you still have it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, nice.
But yours was special because it had rubber bands
Right,
on it.
exactly. Yeah. I said, hey, it's great. Where's the rubber bands at? Where's the duct tape? Come on.
I mean, did you do the follow up, like see how much it could go for?
Yeah.
And it's
not. I can
Make a
get
pretty
get
penny.
So
a little-
hang on to it for as long as
Yeah,
you
I'm
can,
hanging on for a
right?
while. Yeah.
You need a gold plated? I know a guy who does gold plating.
It's a beautiful silver horn. It's beautiful silver.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. So I still got it. Yeah. And that's my very first one. But it's
You got to put it in a case.
It probably already is.
Where
It displays.
where it sits
it
in
spins.
Oh, and it rotates.
where it just rotates, where it rotates in
you
midair.
got the
There's
spotlights.
nothing.
You got the
Yeah,
spotlights on it.
spotlights
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I still got that saxophone.
That's cool. That's awesome. Is there any saxophone legends out there that you
Idolize.
still? Yeah, you still that
Kenny G?
Well, Kenny G is a fantastic tenor saxophone player.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know him from the Songbird and Silhouette and everything from the soprano, but man, he has some chops. He has some heavy chops when he comes to. He can just play straight out jazz. He does. I went to go see Boney James a couple weeks ago. Saxophone player, phenomenal man. We have seen him at the Uptown, and I've always wanted to see him, Boney James. But Dave Cause, Sanborn, Grover Washington. There's one cat. I'll tell you who I liked also was his tone was Clarence Clemens, with Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah.
He just passed away a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
And there's also another cat called Cornelius Bumpus, and he toured.
These are
a
all
lot.
great names, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sax players are the best names.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Macho Rojas. There it is, right there.
he toured with Steely Dan, the Doobie Brothers, and he was on a bunch of real cool tunes. But he's just had this fantastic tone, and his phrasing was just unbelievable. I remember the first time I heard this guy on a live recording, I'm like, wow. And so I looked him up, and I was like, that's one of the guys I wanted to kind of,
Emulate.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Can you listen to the music without reading the music? Can you just listen to it and then just play it by ear?
Yeah, you know what?
Because a lot of people do that, right?
Yeah.
They can't read music, but they can just...
because I learned I had to learn how to read music and everything when I was in school.
Yeah.
And so I learned how to do all that stuff, but I got away from it, once I got off the road and off the cruise ships, I got away from reading the music. So everything did come pretty much by ear. But I'm pretty fortunate because I have a pretty decent ear. So if something comes on, I can figure it out pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'm just one of those. Okay, if you play it for me one time,
you'll pick it up.
I'll figure it out. Yeah. So it's like I said, I'm lucky I have a pretty good ear for that.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, if I could, for me to sit down and read music, it would take me about a month to just sitting there just constantly going over it, learning how to do
Decipher this
Yeah,
riddle.
exactly. Because it's like once you haven't spoken a language for a long time, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, that's pretty cool. Let's get into the before I do, you still we talked about it. You still play with Andre and and like at the jam sessions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a great time with those guys. They're fantastic musicians. Man.
Yeah. I love listening to hearing the saxophone in different songs and stuff like that. And then you name some of the bands that you could just hear the horns.
Right.
So I know one day jam session come through and we were there at the Nest and I saw you walking with the sax case. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get down now. So and then we had the privilege to listen to you at the Post 103, 213. What was it? The
Scholarship
the
dance.
scholarship
right,
dance.
yeah.
And then
Pearson Hall,
you got to play. So that was the first time that I heard your band. How long have you had that band?
I've been with Ex Parte for about 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time with a band. The band previous, the one that I was on the ships with, I was with them for nearly 20 years. Mm-hmm. So it's a long time, but
12 years. And is it your band or is
I joined that band.
You joined the band.
Yeah, I joined the band. The band was Alex Velasquez. He's the one who runs that. Who does that band?
Because I know you did a lot of singing, and then you guys had a female vocalist.
Yeah,
as well.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty good.
Oh yeah. So I'm glad I didn't have to sing all night. It's totally different when you add the female vocals to the band because it opens up a whole another all these different genres of music that you can do that you can't just do with the male vocals. And there's so many good tunes. The female tunes. I mean, there's tons of them. And you get a good singer like her, and it's a pleasure to work. And then you get the chemistry on stage, and you pretty much know where everything's, the harmonies, where this person's going to sing, where this person's going with it. So yeah. So
you've been with them for 12 years. How long have they been a band together?
I think they had just been a band maybe, I don't know, maybe a year or two before.
Okay.
Maybe 2 or 3 years before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did they find you somewhere on a ship or what?
I just came off the ship.
Yeah.
I just came off the ship, and the band that I've been with on the ship, I was like, guys, we've been together for 20 years. I need a break or I need a change.
Yeah.
And Alex Velasquez called me up. He goes, hey, we're looking for a lead singer right now. Are you interested? And so I said, yeah. So I went down to the rehearsal and knew most of the material. So it's just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
So how about the singing part? Do you like that as well, or would you just rather be?
I
on the
prefer
sax?
playing the saxophone. But I was put into the situation where I had to do
Okay.
had to do the singing, So it's if it was up to me, I did a gig a couple weeks ago. Somebody called me up and said we got a private party and they want a saxophone. So I said okay. So I just went there and just got to play saxophone all night. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I enjoy doing this.
Yeah,
So the singing part was just something that
okay.
came along after.
Yeah.
I never sang.
Okay, I was gonna say like singing lessons or anything. You just jumped right in there.
I never sang at all. I just did when I joined like the festival band. We just did sing this harmony and sing that harmony. And like I said, I was being a saxophone player. Harmonies came pretty easy. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So I know what part is missing or what part should be there. So I was just doing backup stuff, and then before you know it, you start singing a few more songs, and before you know it, you're singing a lot of songs in a night.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the band cover band? They're called Flashback.
Yeah, Flashback. Yeah.
Okay, so we're good friends with one of the horn players, David Cantwell.
Mm-hmm.
Trumpet player.
He's a trumpet player.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I've met him a couple times because I've seen Flashback. When they perform. Yeah, good band.
Yeah. They would play Thursdays up at the
Prairie Star.
Yeah.
Or Prairie Fire.
Prairie Fire.
Prairie Fire. Yeah, they had. Was it Tony Risticki?
Yeah, I think the keyboard and singer.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've known him for. All these cats who go back, years and years
cool.
and years. Yeah, Tony. Cool. Yeah, but that's a good band. Yeah,
they're fun to listen to.
Quick question, going back to the ship. Mm-hmm. So when you were on the ship, did you have an opportunity to have mom and dad come on the ship and be able to see you perform?
You know what? They never got a chance to come on the ship. I think my mom was kind of leery about going on. Because a lot of people are. You tell them a cruise ship, they're like, I see so many disaster movies and this and that.
That's me.
I'm gonna get seasick and this and that. It's.
So I'll be cruising by myself.
Yeah.
But it nowadays the ships are so big. Mm-hmm. I mean, the last ship I got off in 2012 was like 165,000 tons. 1,100 feet long and it's 17 stories high. I'm like,
that blows my mind.
And you don't even feel. Mm-hmm. You don't even really feel the ocean or the sea.
Like most cruise ships today, like quadruple the size of the Titanic.
Oh yeah. The very first one I did was like 32,000 tons. It was little and it held like maybe 1,200 people, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one
is pretty small. Yeah,
the last one I did was like
they held almost
5,000 passengers, and
wow,
250 crew, and it was like they've changed a lot.
Yeah,
they've changed a lot. But it's not for everybody, but I think everybody should do it once.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest crowd as far as the Ex Parte band? What's the biggest crowd you guys ever played for?
Oh, that's kind of hard to say. Yeah, that's kind of hard to say because we would do private parties, but most of the stuff we did was like in clubs and this and that. Some of the corporate stuff we did had pretty good crowds. Okay. But it wasn't like we're not doing any arenas or anything like that.
Oh,
okay. It's a whole.
And it's just local, events. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys don't travel with them?
No.
Don't travel.
Yeah.
You guys have any gigs coming up?
We have one actually on the 20th up at. What's it called? Antioch Bar up in North Antioch.
Oh, okay.
That Friday, I think it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yep. Have you ever witnessed anything crazy while playing?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you remember one?
Oh, I remember. I remember the early days. We'd play in some of these bars, and I was young, and there'd be fights and people getting shot and stabbed outside.
Did they have to treat you guys like the Blues Brothers You know,
I played behind chicken wire.
Chicken wire.
I
No,
played
right.
behind chicken wire before.
Really?
Yeah, I played behind chicken wire before. Yeah.
That's a great scene in
yeah,
the blues.
I've played behind chicken wire. Yeah, I sure have. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then when you get on when I used to do it on the ships, this is kind of depressing, but when we used to sail out of Alaska, it'd be like it's an older crowd.
Yeah.
You know. And I remember a couple times on the very first night we're sailing out of a port, I mean, somebody would have a heart attack.
Really?
Right there.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be one of them.
And you got to keep playing, keep going.
Yeah, and so exactly. You know, and so it's one of those things where we'd see some crazy stuff. You know,
Wow.
yeah, we'd see all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty fun. Yeah, you know, let's go ahead and jump into this segment. So you've mentioned quite a bit sax solos. So it took me a little bit to figure out exactly what a sax solo really was. And I know there's like so many songs that I love, songs that I hear, and you know that it's the saxophone that stands out to me. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like you mentioned, "True," right, by Spano Ballet.
Yeah.
So, like, I have a list here, and let's see if you agree with me. If you know, if maybe there's songs that you've played as well. So, got to start off with "Careless Whisper."
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right. That's another song.
1,000 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So has anybody ever said, "Hey, Maach, can you play that
Oh yeah.
solo to
All the
Careless Whisper?"
time. All the time.
Because
yeah.
I was going to ask
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Maach, to play it for us tonight if you
all
would
the
have brought.
time, all the time. Yeah, yeah. It's great,
Yeah.
great solo. You know, that's one of
Yeah.
the most iconic solos in music history.
Is
You know?
it?
And it's a very simple solo,
Oh,
Yeah.
but you got to play it right. You know, yeah.
In order to make it sound
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, how about Baker Street?
Yep.
That's another.
That it. Yep. Well, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Smooth Operator.
Yep.
It starts off nice,
Oh, yeah.
right? You're familiar with these songs, right?
I'd have to hear 'em.
I know. So I actually.
to hear
Baker
'em.
Street. Da, 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 da,
Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Baker Street. Yeah.
that-
Oh yeah, there was this guy at work who would whistle that every time it would come on.
Uh-huh.
He'd be whistling it. We
Uh-huh.
all knew. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Doug's listening
Oh
to
yeah.
Baker
Oh
Street.
yeah.
Yeah. Who Can It Be Now by Man at Work? Dun, dun,
Oh
dun,
yeah.
dun,
Mhm.
dun,
Yeah.
dun. You know,
Yeah.
Man Eater.
Oh yeah. Still play it.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Because that's the one that's it's got an echo,
Echo on, yeah.
right? The
Mhm.
echo. So you have somebody echo you, or
You know what?
Or do you play both parts?
I play both parts.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have two saxophones?
No. I find a way to
make
play
it
it that make it sound like two guys playing it. Make
Okay.
it sound like an
Ah.
egg. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's talent. Of course, we said "True." Walk on the Wild Side by Boss Skaggs.
No, you know what? I'm familiar with the song, but I've just
Yeah.
never played that song.
Duran Duran, Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
your sister used to
Yeah.
love.
Oh yeah,
Duran
Duran Duran all over the room. Yeah, John Taylor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, John Taylor. The One You Love by Glenn Fry.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I played that. God dang, when the song was out, back with Festival Band. Yeah, way back when. Yeah.
That's a cool song.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And of course, he had "You Belong to the City."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
one. Did he do much horns with the Eagles?
No.
Right.
There wasn't
No,
there wasn't a whole lot of horns. It was
Yeah.
it was mostly mostly guitar solos and that type of thing.
Of course, Billy Joe, "Just the Way You Are."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another. So,
Yeah. Phil Woods, I think that was Phil Woods that played that. saxophone,
Okay. And then we have "Turn the Page" by Bob
Yeah.
Seger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And actually, I was playing some of these songs, so I've always wanted to make me a playlist. And since I knew I was bringing you in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make me a playlist with all. And these are all on the
Oh yeah.
playlist,
Oh yeah.
right? And then "I Can't Go for That."
Yeah.
Hall & Oates, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Hall & Oates, they had.
They had a lot of sax. A lot
Yeah.
of saxophone. Yeah. That saxophone player they had was phenomenal, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great tone. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. That's all those Hall & Oates tunes. Yeah.
Right.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot more. I know Lady Gaga had one song that there was a. Yeah, I thought this was cool to ask you this.
Oh, yeah.
all those songs you pretty much and
Yeah.
you've played.
I've played the horn solos on 90% of those songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you which one of my favorite songs to play that is actually pretty difficult to play is from Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh yeah,
We play that, and that sax solo was just. I've been playing that since that song was new.
Yeah.
So back in the '80s, so it's just a great tune, And we still get a request for that song. It's just a fun solo to play. It's a tricky solo, but it's a fun solo.
And then of course Bruce Springsteen, of course, his.
Oh yeah,
we mentioned him earlier.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool stuff. Since we're still on the music, I'll ask you this: if you could create Maach's musical festival, and I asked all your other buddies, the same thing. Name 5 bands that you would have at your festival. Any genre, like what
any time period?
Any time period. If you could just build them to come to your festival, and any time period.
I would like to have Earth, Wind and Fire.
There you go.
The Beatles. I'm a big fan of Sinatra.
Yeah.
But Tom Jones. Barbra Streisand. Oh man, there's so many good. Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
There was so many. Huey Lewis and the News. That was one of my favorite bands in the 80s. And they had the saxophone on.
That's right. Stuff too. That's right. I can't believe that. Right. You know what? I'm gonna have to put them on
Lewis,
here.
Yeah, Huey Lewis and the News, and Prince, Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
It's there's so many cats, the Doobie Brothers. There's so many bands and so many acts that were, they played such a huge role in music itself.
Yeah.
To have, different genres all on one stage, I was a big fan of the Police. Mm-hmm. There's all these groups in the 80s and, the 70s. Kansas. I was a big fan of Kansas, Styx, Journey. I liked all these bands. Yeah. All these cool bands that I grew up with,
Yeah.
And then there's bands back in the, 50s and 60s too. All the Stevie Wonder. He was always been one of my favorites. So there's so many cats back in the 60s and 70s, and all the Temptations and Four Tops and Diana Ross, Supremes. There's so many bands to choose from. It's just, for me to just choose 5, I really couldn't do it.
I hear you. Yeah. I asked for 5, you named 20. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear.
That's what I would want to get.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah. So okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. So I've always said music makes the world go around.
It does. It's a universal language.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. It's no matter commercials and
that's right.
If you're at a football game, baseball game.
Yeah.
Hell, at the racetrack.
Anything. As soon as you get in your car, as soon as you get up in the morning, as soon as the last thing you hear at night or whatever, it's always music plays a part of pretty much everybody's life.
Yeah.
So it's
that's one thing I wish I wish I would have played an instrument. And it's never too late.
Never too late.
Yeah, never too late.
How do you listen to music now?
As
are
far
you a
as
streamer?
Yeah, I do. I listen. I catch a lot of this stuff on YouTube, but I do some streaming. Whatever, Spotify or whatever. I listen to it. But quite honestly, believe it or not, I don't listen to a whole lot of music.
Okay.
At home, because I play music all the time, so at home I don't listen to it that much unless I'm like I'm doing something, or I'm working on music. So it's I just don't. I don't listen to a whole lot of it. And a lot of people go, "You must have music in the house all the time." I said, "Just the opposite, because I'm surrounded by music all the time. I play music all the time, so I don't." But it's one of those things. I just, I listen to talk radio or just as much as anything else. But when you go play music, it's totally different. Than just for me to sit there and listen to music. Mm-hmm. It's just a different way of thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever catch new music these days?
Some of the new music, every once in a while, I'll go look up some but I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with names, and if I'll hear something that I like, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. That they move on to something else, and I'm like, I should have wrote down who that was because I do like it. But there's some of the new music. I really kind of stopped listening to the newer music probably back in the early 2000s, because once they started doing all the samples and this and that, and they got away from the originality of. To me, this is the way I think about it. A lot of the artists that were out there, they were just doing recycled samples, and they were putting lyrics to it and this and that. I'm like, they got away from the originality of coming up with something on your own, you know, which is, I mean, all the music that we've been talking about, I mean, those were bands that could really play and they could really sing, and they came up with their own music. And you know, once, and like I said, all power to the cats that are doing it, that are making a living out of, you know,
sampling music.
Sampling. That's an art in itself. You know, it's something that I don't do, but it's something that, like I said, if they can make money doing it, man. I'm happy for anybody who's doing anything. Yeah. You know, if as long as you're putting yourself out there, and you know, just trying to make yourself better as far as music goes or anything goes in life, you know. Hey man, more power to you. Yeah.
Now, like Kendrick Lamar, I know you said you only like 3 out of his new album. His album's pretty good. I listened to it. I thought it was pretty good.
That's different taste.
It's not a rap album.
I know, right? He sings
sample.
in it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's why.
It's not a rap album.
Yeah, but speaking of, you mentioned what?
You hate samples.
No,
yet he used a sample in every single one of those songs.
I know, and I've come to the reality of like, this is what's making him sound good. Is sampling. Yep.
So you were just an old cranky guy the first time you heard it.
When we first, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You probably loved that Tupac sample, didn't you?
What was up with that?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
They're both from L.A., West Coast,
I know,
Compton.
right? Just trying to keep it there. But did you see? Earlier you spoke of Frank Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the commercial that Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg made? Mm-hmm. They're promoting their gin and juice. They have their own gin, and it's really the AI is just incredible, right? You're familiar with AI? They can do whatever. Yeah. They step into this club. They're having a drink. They're dressed up in tuxedos, and Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. are at a bar, and they see Snoop and Dre come in, and they're like, "Who are these guys?" You know. He has the bartender, have them come over here. Let's talk to these guys. And they look over, they're like, all right. So they sit down and they're having a conversation. Good. It's just crazy because sounds just like Sammy and
really
it looks like him. And Frank, it's a cool, I freaking love that commercial. I've seen like 3 or 4 times, just sit there, watch it. The way it was made.
I haven't seen that. I have to check that out.
It's really cool. Yeah. And the 4 of them are just sitting. They introduce themselves to each other. And
sounds like video sampling.
Yeah, right. It's pretty dope. It's pretty.
Sammy
dope.
was actually amazing, man. He was just. I mean, you could actually. I mean, he started out. His family started on vaudeville.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can go back and you can find some old, footage of him.
Yeah.
And he was just unbelievably talented, man. Oh God. Yeah.
What do you think of? Dean Martin.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Right?
Actually, he's out of all the Rat Pack, I think he was the best vocalist.
Yeah.
He was just so smooth, man. And he had actually a really good range, and his phrasing was phenomenal. Yeah. And it was Dean Martin, man.
I think the times, and I love to watch him and Jerry Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Like, remember those shows?
Yeah.
Those are so good. But listening to Frank Sinatra sing the Christmas songs that he has out there, now that it's Christmas time,
Oh yeah, I've been doing them all week and all month. I've been doing them. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dean Martin, he's a shit, man.
He was tremendous, man. I used to love. I remember. You may be on the verge of old enough to remember this. They used to have the Dean Martin the roast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with that? The Dean Martin roast. So you know how they do roast nowadays. Yeah. Dean Martin, they were the ones that started it back in the day.
Man.
Oh yeah, back in the early 70s. And they were raunchy back then. You couldn't get away with none of the stuff that they said back then.
Right.
Nowadays it'd be.
I'm on just regular TV.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
I mean, they have roasts now. The comedians get together and you talk about raunchy, but they won't. You got to see it on Netflix.
Right. Exactly.
Or YouTube or something. Yeah. They just something.
They had it
just can't air.
That was on NBC on Thursday nights or whatever back then. The roast. Yeah.
Yeah. And those are pretty damn.
Oh, they're hilarious. They're hilarious. Yeah. That was all the A-list stars back then would come on.
Right. And they'd sit there and they'd be drinking their whiskey.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Funny stuff, man. Good stuff.
Especially when Red Fox was on there too, right?
Red Fox. I tell you, it's like with Foster Brooks.
Yeah.
Foster Brooks, he'd always come on there and act like he was drunk, but he never drank.
Yeah, right. But
he didn't drink. But he played a fantastic drunk. It was just hilarious.
Yeah. So so speaking of Christmas is right around the corner. So I want to try to see if I can spark up some memories of Christmas time for you. So, for example, it's have you ever? Okay, so have you ever done any of these during Christmas time? So one is shop for a real tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were kids. We always had a real tree.
Really?
Yeah, we did down in Armourdale. We always had a real tree. Even when we moved up to Argentine, we had a real tree.
Yeah,
we used to have it in a bucket of sand. We had rocks around the bucket. Rocks around the bucket. Yeah, we had real trees.
Yeah, and you would go with Dad to go get it.
Yeah, we sure would. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's something I've never done.
Yeah, sure did.
Nephew, you ever had a real tree?
No.
I mean,
it sounds like a mess.
It was
pine needles.
I mean, the pine
like
needles.
Oh yeah.
And then the smell of the pine.
Oh yeah.
It could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing.
It could be dangerous. Yeah.
Right.
Those trees will go up quick. Yeah, you got to be careful with those. Yeah.
Man.
Keep them watered.
Right. Oh, really? You had to water it as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You had to water those trees all the time.
Damn. Okay,
oh yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Take a picture with Santa.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine so.
Pictures got to be
at some point
that I must have at the department stores when we were kids. I must have taken pictures with Santa.
We just scheduled for.
I was going to ask
to come up. Yeah.
Yeah. So my nephew here, they just had a baby here. What, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks now?
Oh, okay.
No,
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2 months ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
So we just got him scheduled for I don't know, probably the week before.
Where are you guys going? Crown Center?
No, what's it called? Bass Pro
Oh, okay.
over on the Legends.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
How about building a snowman?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anytime there was snow, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. First snow, and especially that they had that wet snow.
Oh yeah.
Got to have the wet sno to pack it in there good. Oh yeah. Yeah. Built some snowmen. Yeah. Oh yeah. We used to knock them down too. We used to go snowman killing. We used to go snowman killing.
Yeah, just go around the neighborhoods and try to...
Late at night. Okay, let's have a couple drinks and go kill some snowmen. All right, I'm in.
It's almost like cow tipping.
Something like that.
Oh man. Play Christmas music with your instrument. I mean, do you play? So you said here.
Did it today.
You're playing, huh?
Yeah, I did it today. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mark that one off the list. Make tamales.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what?
Go ahead.
Not so much make the tamales, but watch people make tamales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that was a Christmas Eve tradition for my mom and my aunts.
Okay.
They would always get together down the house, early in the morning.
Yeah.
With the tamales, and we'd start making the tamales and had some wine going, and it was a good time. By the time everybody rolled around in the evening and the afternoon.
Yeah. Hang Christmas lights.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go out there and have you done that? Did you do
that? I haven't did it where my wife and I live, but I used to help my dad hang when we were young. Yeah.
And would they come down, or would your dad say,
"Oh no, it'd come down."
Right?
It'd come down. Yeah.
And nowadays, people just leave them.
Oh, I know. I got some folks on my block that they have their lights on all the time.
Yeah.
Just don't turn them on.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I know people here. Of course, the last 4 or 5 years. They're getting just the red and white or red, white, yellow Chiefs colors.
Right.
And they're freaking leave them on until playoffs. All the way through February. Yeah, we have some. Yeah, people around here do the same thing. Did you ever write a letter to Santa?
I don't remember.
No.
I don't think I did. I don't. Well, you know what? Yes, I do remember. I did write a letter when I was about 4 or 5 years old.
That's what we do on this show, Macho. That's what we do. We bring out the letters.
I think I did probably about when I was 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember what I asked for, but I don't know if I got it or not. But probably something out of the Sears catalog from way back then.
Right? Did you guys used to do that?
Oh, God, yeah. Page 267. Okay, I want that.
Yeah. I remember my mom she'd give me the book, and I'd be flipping pages, circle this one.
Yeah.
I'd circle like 40.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah. They were as big as a phone book back then, those old Penny's catalogs and Sears catalogs and all.
Yeah. Speaking of toys, do you remember there was before Toys R Us, there was a toy store. It was called Toy City. It was right on Metcalf. It was actually, I'm pretty sure, where the Target is on Metcalf. It was right in that area. It was called Toy City.
Yeah, I remember that because it was back in the 90s.
I even think like
maybe
early
before then. Yeah, probably
80s. Yeah, because I remember getting a 10-speed for Christmas, and I got to pick out the one I wanted there, and it was at Toy City.
Oh yeah,
yeah, good stuff. How about the Elf on the Shelf? You and the wife do that?
No.
No. Are you guys on social media much?
You know what? I don't go on Facebook that much anymore. I used to, but it just got too out of hand this last year. I'm like, and I go on Facebook maybe once or twice a week and send belated happy birthdays. 'Cause I'm sorry I didn't catch it on Monday, but yeah.
Yeah. When was the last time you went sledding?
Sledding? Oh man. 40 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, more than that.
Do you remember where? Where would you
I'll
go?
tell you. Want to hear a funny story?
Yes, please.
I'll tell you a funny story with Kuroga.
Okay.
Mike Kuroga. And when you hear this story, I remember my mom had just bought me a brand new coat. My mom and dad had just bought me a brand new coat, winter coat. And I remember we went down to you're familiar with Mike Kuroga's house?
Yeah.
That big steep driveway.
Yeah.
So it's a funny story. Not many people know this story, so I'm putting it out there.
Yes.
So we were going down the sleds, and at the very end, there's a car down at the bottom. So you got to make the turn real sharp.
Yeah.
Right. So Mike goes down there, and he gets up on. Okay, he makes the turn. He goes, "Come on, man, come on down." So I get on the sled. I go down there. I don't make the turn. I crash into the car, and my coat explodes. Oh my God! It just exploded. The feathers everywhere, and I'm like, holy crap! My mom and dad just bought me this jacket. What am I gonna do? I'm like, it's gonna be a cold winter because I ain't gonna get me another jacket. But yeah, you
get in trouble when you got home?
Oh yeah, I got in trouble. Yeah, because there was to get a coat back then, a big nice coat back then, that was a big thing. But yeah, me and Crow, we still sit there and laugh about it. Because it was like literally like a cartoon. Hit the car, and the coat just exploded. Yeah. Just nuts.
That's pretty cool. That's a good story. Yeah. And was it one of those wooden sleds that had the blades on there, but it was all wooden on top? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were hard to steer. So I can see why you couldn't make that turn.
Things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You ever go sledding at St. Margaret's?
Yep. I knew you were gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we used to do it all the time. Oh boy, you get some speed up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some speed up on that. Yeah, me and Andre and I remember a buddy of mine, and he won't get mad that I tell the story because I've told the story around him. A buddy of mine, who I'll remain nameless, but he'll know who it is if he ever hears the podcast. Yeah. Me and Andre went down, and that's when we had these. They had the not like the Griswold. Like the little the round disc.
Yeah, like a disc. Yeah.
So we went down there. So me and Andre went down there, and we said, "Hey, so and so, come on down, man." And he had on like a trench coat.
Yeah.
But he's coming down, and so me and Andre at the bottom, and all of a sudden we hear his, and we see him up in the air like in slow motion, turning around. I'm like, oh no. Crashed hard, but I remember I was just like slow motion. You could just see him. He's just flying over us because there's like a bump right before we hit the bottom. Yes. It's St. Margaret's Park. Yeah,
it's funny you say that because same thing with my family. My cousin Michael Garcia. Al Garcia, Alfonso.
Yeah.
So one of his younger brothers, Michael. Same thing with him. We were all at the top of the hill, and we watched him go down. And as soon as he hit that bump, the sled went one way and he went another way.
Oh yeah.
And we were just like, oh my God. So we all kind of just had to slide down there, just to make sure he was okay. And
and you go back and try it again. Go back and do it again. I know. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we used to take these kids there, but maybe not necessarily on the steep hill, but maybe the hill right there on 7th Street, because they were a little younger. Yeah. And of course, when they got older, they wanted to try the steep one. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people still use that.
Oh
hill. Yeah. I think my wife took the kids and the nieces and the little ones just last winter, to do it. So I'm sure I hope we don't get any hard snow. But if it happens, right.
I didn't mind the snow when I was young, but nowadays I'm like, you know what?
I feel like the snow doesn't quite pile up like it used to either, because you'd mentioned snowmen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
You don't recall making a snowman?
I'm thinking back to the last 15, 20 years that I can remember. And I don't know that we had good like packing or rolling snow. I just don't know if it's quite the same anymore.
I
for
remember
whatever
back in the late
reason.
70s and early 80s, man. We used to get
Yeah.
some vicious snowstorms.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
7-8 inches. Like,
Right.
at least 7-8 times a winter.
Man.
Yeah, we used to get a lot of snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then, of course, it was fun for us because
Yeah.
our dads were the ones that were out there
Yeah,
shoveling the snow. And
it's
this
fun
and that.
until they tell you to shovel it.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, maybe we don't need no snow this year.
I know, right? And so that's I'm at the point where I'm like, I hope we don't get any snow. Man, you ever leave any cookies out for Santa?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't. Not that I remember. Not that I remember.
When did you stop believing in Santa, or did you
Oh,
believe?
I don't know. He doesn't exist. I don't know. It's a family show, isn't it?
Some people.
Yeah. Okay. I never really.
Yeah.
I don't know. 4 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a while. I was
Yeah.
probably like 12, 13 until I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 Chris, cover your ears. Yeah. Ever order takeout food? Christmas?
Oh, at Christmas?
Yeah.
No, I don't really remember ordering
I think,
takeout.
I think one year we went to a Chinese restaurant. Just
Oh, really?
yeah. I can't remember when it was, but I do remember it was during Christmas time, and we're like, "We hungry? Yeah, let's just go."
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot
and
of
Chinese restaurants are open on Christmas.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
because
You know?
they don't celebrate Christmas.
Right.
And there's actually there's a lot of folks actually that do that exact same thing. They go to Chinese restaurants on Christmas because they don't celebrate it. So that's a big thing. That's a big day
Right.
for the Chinese
Yeah,
restaurants.
I think they even do that in the movie The Christmas Story.
Yeah.
They go to a Chinese restaurant
Yeah.
because I guess they burnt their turkey or whatever they were
Yeah,
making. Yeah. Ever had a little bit too much to drink during Christmas? On a
Oh
Christmas
yeah.
dinner? Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, who needs?
No, but
yeah.
oh, you know what? Yeah, well, it's like you get together with the family, and so it's one of those things. Everybody's gonna have a good time and this and that.
It's a good
so
get together.
yeah, it is. You know,
Of course.
you want to
like you said
drink.
earlier, you
Yeah.
watch making tamales, and all of a sudden here comes the wine.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, my mom and my aunt they love their wine. Well, then all of a sudden, let's go to midnight mass. Okay, you sure you want to go to midnight?
I know, right? Yeah, nowadays we just go. Well, there's a 4:30 mass.
Yeah.
Let's just go to that one and get it over with. Yep. How about the plaza? You ever go down to the plaza to check out the lights?
I used to, but it's just so crowded now. It's just it's. I remember I went down there back in the 80s when they used to do the lighting ceremony. I used to kind of go down there every year, but man, there's just so many people down there now.
Yeah.
And they turn them on every night at the same time, so I just go down there. I go down there a little bit early and just watch.
They still do. They still do the Thanksgiving turn them on.
Yeah, but you know what?
Thanksgiving
They
night,
never
or-
even they don't even advertise it anymore.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's-
hear anything about it the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That they should have that so and so is gonna throw the switch and this and that. But I haven't heard anything about it this year.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, who nowadays watches local TV?
Yeah.
I only just at night watch the news.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
in the morning watch the news before
Right.
you go to work.
Right, exactly.
And then
yeah.
that's the only time I get the local stuff. Yeah. But yep. All right. Yeah. So before we end, Maach, again, this has been fun having you in. I appreciate.
Oh,
you
I
coming
appreciate it, man. It's been
Yeah.
a good time. Yeah.
in. Yep. These is I want to know your favorites.
Okay.
What's your favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday? Huh. You know what? I like the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I must admit, I like the 4th of July. Yeah, it's get together with all the family and this and that. I go down to my cousin Rojas is over on the west side, and so
Okay.
and it's always a good time down there. So I like the 4th of July. I mean, I like all the holidays when we get together with the family. Thanksgiving it's always nice. Anytime you get together with the family, to me, is a good holiday.
It's a good holiday,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. How about your favorite movie? You have a favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie. Godfather's one of them. There's a. Oh, that was. People don't believe this, but one of my favorite movies of all time was The 10 Commandments.
Really?
It's just one of those movies that's and Gone with the Wind is another one of the great movies. I'd say another one back in the Fugitive. For some reason, I was always
The original one. Yeah.
And I tell you what movie I was just talking about today, Die Hard.
Yeah, that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
People like
right.
it's a Christmas, but
It's considered
it's
a
one of those
Christmas movie,
movies
yeah.
that you flipping through the channels.
And
Oh,
you-
wait a minute, Die Hard's on. I'm stopping watching for a
Yeah.
while. So yeah, it's one of those. Yes, but The Godfather's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sit there and watch that on numerous times.
Yeah, that's cool. Favorite sport to watch?
I like baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like baseball. I like football too,
Mm-hmm.
but I really enjoy watching baseball.
Live or on TV? Which do you prefer to do?
Well, we have to go live now because I don't have Bally, so I'd be able to watch
I
it.
know,
but,
right?
Yeah,
That's-
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I know they got a new contract with FanDuel, I think it is, next year. I think
Oh,
it is.
really?
Yeah, pretty sure they announced that. But one of the gaming things. But
Yeah.
I used to like to go, you know, even because I used to play baseball, so I was had a fondness for it, you know, just to go watch the game. It's a beautiful game to me, you know.
Mhm. So Little League baseball.
Yeah.
Who'd you play for?
Oh God, I played for a couple of teams. I played for Argentine All Stars. I played for the American Legion. I used to play with Tootie,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and I played for a couple of different teams back when I stopped playing ball when I was probably about 15.
Oh,
Played from
okay.
about 10 to about 15. Yeah, but I enjoy baseball.
Yeah.
Like I said, I enjoy football too. But
What positions did you play?
I played shortstop and I pitched.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How's the arm? Still good?
That's why I had to quit. I hurt my arm when I was about 15. You know,
Yeah.
you start throwing them curveballs too young, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, this don't feel right.
Right,
So
yeah.
so
Dang.
mm.
Favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant? Ooh, you know,
Do maybe a local, and if you've got an international one, you remember.
I remember we used to go when I was on the ship over in Germany. We used to go to this little place called Papadopoulos. It was in Germany, and their food was just fantastic. You know, my wife and I we went like one of our first dates there, and I always remember that place because the name was fun to say, Papadopoulos.
Yeah.
But their food was really really great. You know, and there was a couple of Mexican restaurants down in Cozumel. And that we went to too, but yeah, I mean, as far as international, like something like that. As far as local restaurants, I don't know.
Yeah.
We go down sometimes to one we go to all the time is the little Taqueria Mexico right there on 7th Street.
7th, yeah.
We go there a lot too. But my wife and I, we want to go for a burger. We go to this little sports bar up there. It's called Maloney's. We go there all the time.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, we go there. They got great
Downtown
burgers.
OP?
Yeah. We just
Yeah.
exactly. We go there all the time. It's one of those places. You just go there and watch a game or whatever, and they got good food, and you know it's close to the house, so it's one of those places that we.
That's
but
cool.
as far as you know, a fine restaurant or something like that, I don't know. I don't go to it too much. You know,
Okay.
it's just yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you cook?
I try to cook.
least
I get
good
in there.
enough for
I
you,
get
right?
up there and warm up things.
you
Yeah, I can make a few dishes, but I'm not getting the offers for cooking shows. Let's put it that way.
That's right. Do you have a favorite T-shirt?
Favorite T-shirt?
Like, do you have a T-shirt that you just can't get rid of and you just keep it? And
No, you know what? I like all my Royal stuff. I got like a lot of KU stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, I got a lot of KU stuff at home.
their basketball team's struggling right now.
Man,
Two in
those
a
last
row.
2 games, I know.
Right?
To the Tigers, I was like, oh, come on, really? Yeah, I thought they'd be
Yeah.
fired up since they got their butt kicked by Creighton.
Right?
I thought they'd be fired up, but they came out flat. I was like, oh man. So, but you know, I still like, you know, I got my KU stuff and
Mm-hmm.
you know, like my Royal stuff too. So yeah, yeah.
Okay. You a big Chiefs fan?
Oh
Yeah.
no,
No?
no. I'm a Raiders fan.
Oh, Raiders.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been a Raiders fan since 1972.
Okay. Good
I
for
remember
you.
my very first memory. One of my very first memories of football was the Immaculate Reception.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, 72. And I remember that play going on, and my dad and my uncle were yelling at the TV. They're like, "Oh man, that play that shouldn't count this and
Yeah.
that."
It should be dead ball.
And I remember watching that game, and for that moment on, I said, "I like the team with the white uniforms."
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about it. I was like 5 years old, but
Yeah.
I've just been a fan ever since.
Okay.
So yeah, most people that you know. So you're a Raiders
There's a
fan?
mortal
I said,
enemy
yeah,
to a lot of
yeah.
people around here.
You know, there's a lot of Raiders fans around here. Everybody has somebody in their family that's a Raiders fan. They
Yeah,
may not
yeah.
know about it, but there's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Raiders fan in every
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
I
yeah.
do too. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know if you can see the star behind my logo there on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're both struggling this year.
No, yeah. Well, the good times and bad times.
But
right?
I am planning a trip to, because I believe that the Cowboys will be playing the Raiders next season, and we want to go to Vegas for that.
Oh,
And,
okay. Yeah.
meet up with Bob
right,
Delgado out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bobby. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been a
Him and
Raiders
Adrian,
fan.
yeah.
Yeah. They've been Raiders fans ever since they were young too. Yeah. We always, whenever we see each other, we get together and talk Raiders.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know if you saw that episode when I had the Delgado brothers on, but Darth Vader made an appearance.
Yeah. Yeah. I catch. I caught the other one the other day with Ron Gutierrez.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, that was really good too.
He's a cool cat, man. Real cool cat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was fun. And last one, song of all time. Because I know you got a lot of music out there, but is there that one song that, I don't know, maybe it helps you relax, or you just hear it and it inspires you, it pumps you up?
There's a song that I've always liked. It was originally by the Doobie Brothers, and it was re-recorded by Carly Simon. And it's You Belong to Me.
Yes.
Man, I mean, when I first heard that song, I said, that's a really, really cool tune.
Yeah.
I was like, and I loved her version of it, but it was Michael McDonald who wrote it, and he's one of my favorites, Michael McDonald.
Yes.
And that song, man, when I first heard it, I said, and that's, if somebody asked me, I said, yeah, that's always one of my top favorite songs, man.
Yeah.
Just
I hear you.
great tune.
It is a great song.
Yeah.
Michael McDonald is just one of those. His voice is just phenomenal.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We saw him, I believe it was in Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
My son, Marty, was going to school there, and we hear, hey, Michael McDonald's going to be performing there at one of the spots. Oh, shit, we went. Had to see him. And then the Doobie Brothers came to town, I think, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And special guest, Michael McDonald. Mm-hmm. Boom, we were there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I've seen him at least twice.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he was always one of my favorites.
Yeah, same
and he was on everything. In the
right?
80s, man, he turned a song on. He's a background vocals or a lot of songs he wrote. And he's just one of those cats, and he's just so smooth, man. Mm-hmm. That blue-eyed soul, man. It's just good stuff, man. Yeah.
And, he did his solo stuff, and then I think he even did Christmas stuff. He
he did all the Motown.
You ever heard, the Motown,
stuff,
You ever hear Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah.
Do his rendition, is it rendition? Is that what the word is? Of Michael McDonald. Mm-hmm. So good. Yeah. And then him and I think it was Justin Timberlake did a thing. And then Michael McDonald shows up, so the three of them are all singing at the same time. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, man. He's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, same here. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Well, Maach, we've come to the end.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, man, I had a good time, man. I hope you guys had a good time with me too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Chris, we good?
Write a book.
Yep.
Right? You should, Maach. Seriously.
Write a book.
Yeah, you got some good stories out there.
I can tell you some good ones.
And I'm sure we could probably sit here longer than this.
I could tell you all kinds of crazy stories. Yeah. I was on a ship that was on fire one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, that's scary.
Yes, I'm glad I didn't say that when Sandy was down here.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll have to bring you and Bob and Andre and Stevie.
Yeah.
All the fellas.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, those guys are. They gave me my first gig.
Yeah.
As far as I remember what Andre said to me, and this is you can ask him. I said, when I was thinking about joining the band, he goes, well, I'll tell you what, girls love the saxophone. That was it.
Boom. Yeah.
That was it, man. That was the hook.
Heck
yeah.
So, yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Well, thanks again, Maach.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you, guys, man. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Big Modcast. Until next week, adios.